Welcome back to the Generational Investors Podcast, where we explore the timeless principles of building lasting wealth. I'm your host, John Woodard III, and we are back here this week with a featured guest, one of the advisors here, Matthew Blades. Thank you for joining us today, Matthew.
Yeah, I appreciate the invite back and opportunity to get to talk about something pretty exciting. So
Wonderful. Yes, and today's topic we're getting into is Trump accounts. They released back on July 4th, actually on America's 250th birthday. If you listen to the last podcast, then you know a little bit more about the history of the markets and just kind of a relation to that today. So before we get started, two quick little notes of housekeeping. One is the website just got updated. It took a little bit of time thanks to our buddy Claude and
looks great.
efforts. Oh goodness,
Looks great.
It's impressive.
Amazing. Yeah,
Saved us probably 10 to 15 grand maybe on the website.
Minimum.
Yeah, go check it out, wcamg.com. It's got everything up there. It's got the podcast. It's got some of the new events we have coming up. One of them, the cybersecurity event, October 6th. I guess that's something else, and all clients will be getting that in the newsletter. And then the other thing is that the Generational Investors is now trademarked. I put us in for application, and somehow, some way, not through the hoops and the slow rungs of the government, it got passed through. So we're there. Wonderful news. So just getting into things, Trump accounts. Our beloved financial planner here at the firm, Matthew, knows a lot about it, and we're just going to kind of get into it, get into things, what it is and everything. So just getting started here. Do you mind just kind of telling the audience what exactly a Trump account is, some of the benefits, some of those little things, and then we'll kind of go from there because there's a lot of little tidbits.
Yeah. So Trump account is a new vehicle, just officially launching, like I said, July 4th. So the first statements and stuff aren't even out yet. So I've got two for my boys, and we'll end up talking about that a little bit during this. Their design is new. Is trying to get folks to be able to invest and get money saved up for retirement for minors. And what's a little bit different about this versus a traditional and a Roth IRA is that there's no earned income requirement or expectation. So anybody can put money in there on the minor's behalf. They don't have to have earned income. It gets to grow. It's going to be invested in a lot of America's best companies. So we'll be talking about all those different components, but it's designed again for minors to have some money saved up for retirement. No earned income requirement. Those are a couple of the big features, big components.
So it is going to be kind of treated like an IRA of sort. It's just IRAs required earned income, and so that's what sets it apart from IRA, correct?
Yes, yeah. So for somebody that does have earned income, a kid that's working, producing income, they would be able to also add money to a traditional IRA or Roth IRA. These contributions are going to be separate. So any kid can have funds that go into the Trump account, but some may also be able to make contributions to a traditional IRA or Roth IRA as long as they have that earned income.
Gotcha. And what would the contribution limits be per year per child on one of these Trump accounts?
So for the Trump accounts right now, you're looking at $5,000 a year per child. So that's all contributions combined, regardless of where it comes from. So $5,000 per year per child. You don't want to go over that, but that's a good flat round number right now.
Mm-hmm. I saw actually that there's a 6% penalty on anything over that. So if you put in 6,000, that's 1,000 extras put on anyways. And so name one of those benefits. What are with the Trump accounts? I've heard something about there being $1,000 put in the government will do for kids of a certain age.
Yeah. So that was really part of the reason why we opened our first one. So my youngest son turns 1 tomorrow, as a matter of fact. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So happy
early birthday.
Yeah, thank you. I'll pass it along. But we knew that he was going to get the $1,000 from the government. And so, for folks, for kids born January 1st, 2025 up through, I want to say the end of 2028, they're going to get a free $1,000 from the government no questions asked. You do have to submit for it. Like, you got to go through this process. It's not going to go out to everybody. If they don't open a Trump account in time, they don't meet these requirements and go through the steps, they're not going to get the $1,000. But you go through these steps. It takes you no time at all. 5 minutes tops, and
you've done it.
I've done it.
Okay.
I've done it.
And how do you? I'm assuming there's a website for it.
Yeah. So the TrumpAccounts.gov is
that's simple.
One.
Yeah, that's easy.
It's pretty easy, and mine actually for my youngest son, we did it. It prompted me to do it when I was filing my taxes. So it gave me a good prompt, and then they followed up when it was time, when the site was ready and everything. So I did my first son because we were going to get the $1,000. I've got an older son who's 7 right now, and we hadn't opened up the account originally because there wasn't going to be this government match. But what we've been finding out is that a lot of other public companies are wanting to contribute on behalf of their employees. They're doing all these different matches and stuff. So the expectation is that even the older kids are going to be getting some money from some of the largest companies here domestically. They think it's a good thing. They want people to start at a young age, start building up for retirement. And all this time they're getting to do it by investing in the biggest and best of America's companies. So
interesting. And Micron's one of them, right? They're doing $250 million, I believe.
Yeah, they're making a huge contribution. The administration has been happy to promote those companies that have came alongside the government and doing these matches. Micron is one. We're big fans of them. We have them in our market leaders portfolio currently. Not going to do a long pitch on that, but it's a great company. These companies are under no sort of requirement to go out and make these contributions, but they are doing it. They're trying to come alongside and support the initiative that the administration's put forward.
So speaking of Micron and investments, what sort of investments can these Trump accounts invest into? Because I'm assuming like 401ks and everything, they can't just blatantly go into double levered Micron, which it's probably not might be something, but. What kind of investment specifically are these accounts in?
That's a really good point, and it's one of the best things about this. About some other different types of accounts that folks can use, like the 529s are going to have some similar rules. 529s are going to be more broadly diversified, generally speaking, but these Trump accounts are going to be, right now it appears everything's going to be limited to the S&P 500. So you're talking about the 500 biggest and best companies, again, in the United States, world history. These are the best, and they're going to be, plugging money into saving for their retirement benefit. They have no access to it until at least 18, at which point it's going to automatically convert over to a traditional IRA.
That's it. Okay. That's good. That's helpful too. Just getting kids started young. And I think I saw that it was the State Street Spider one, because their expense ratio is 0.02 or 2 basis points, right? One below the VOO Vanguards. That's
So it's the lowest expense way to go about it. That was one of the requirements. And you're getting the 500 best companies with minimal expenses. That was the requirements in order for their funds to be able to be used. So there's no commissions, there's no kickbacks. I mean, it's designed to be a low cost way to get kids invested for their future. The compounding is pretty magnificent. Mm-hmm. So we'll be talking more about that as we're doing planning and stuff for folks over time. It's really great.
Mm-hmm. That is great, and that's something you mentioned 529s too. That's something we'll have a whole nother segment on that, just because that is something very crucial and also something else great for anyone with kids. And one fascinating point too is that the custodian for the Trump accounts here is Bank of New York Mellon, which if you'd watched last week's podcast, it was talking about how Alexander Hamilton started Bank of New York back in 1784. It was the first publicly traded bank and one of the first banks in America. It's kind of cool that they were, now the largest custodian, the custodying Trump accounts, kind of coming full circle. And then also Robinhood is the platform being used for it all, and that's another one in our market leaders portfolio that we like. But that's all just fun, interesting facts. So just I guess one last thing here too, employer contributions. You mentioned that. Is there something more that people should know about that? I mean, I know it's not like a 401k where there's matching or anything, but is there? I did see that employer contributions, they can have up to $2,500 a year.
Yeah, $2,500 a year per child.
Okay.
Is kind of the current limits, and it's pre-tax, right? So it's not going to be taxable income for the employee whose kid it is that's being contributed to. So pre-tax component, $2,500 a year per kid. So no real favoritism there, but those are the current limits if companies did want to contribute on behalf of their employees with minor children.
Gotcha. Good to know. Yeah. And just rounding things up here, if someone with a parent with a kid right now, if they're watching this, what would be one thing you'd recommend them to do this week?
So it's very easy. So I think the tax form is a 4547. So that was one of the original pieces that was tied in when I was actually filing my taxes. But if you just go into whether it's the Apple Store or the Play Store for Android and stuff, you go in, you download the Trump Accounts app. You're going to be able to go through this. It takes 5 minutes. You need Social Security number, you need date of birth, some very basic information. You have that. You're going to be able to complete it. You're going to get, if they're eligible, they're going to get the $1,000 right away that gets plugged in. But one of the pieces we haven't really talked about yet is really cool. Is how easy it is to let other family members participate in this.
Oh, really?
So many folks are very blessed, financially. But for young folks that have kids, they got other people that want to contribute to the grandkids' happiness, or the nephews, nieces, and everything. There is a QR code that the app can generate. It's very easy to share, and somebody can make a contribution right away. So birthdays, Christmas, anything like that. It's very easy. You generate it. It creates a link. You can share it. Get other folks to throw some money in there on your special one's behalf. So
wow. Okay. You think with technology these days, they should be having that everywhere.
It's very impressive.
And that's innovation that excites. That's good. Okay.
Yeah, I shared it with my mom, a little personal thing. And so I shared it with her, and within like 10 minutes, I got an email that, a contribution had been made. So it goes to show how easy it is, how tech friendly it is. They were asking, what to do for my 1-year-old's birthday. I'm like,
Trump account.
Trump account. So
that's great.
Retirement.
That's perfect. Anything else to the audience? I feel like we've covered corner to corner here, but any last words or anything before we get into the pick of the week?
Just reiterating, these are the 500 best companies. I mean, it's not speculation like you're talking about. It's not leverage. This is contributing to the benefit of the American stock market. The reason we're having this conversation today, the reason you're watching this is because over time equities have performed, stocks have went up, people have made more money than if you kept it in your bank account. This is contributing to the best companies that have ever existed, and it's a very low cost way to go about it. Where you are on the political spectrum, Trump can be very polarizing, and this isn't about that. Republican, Democrat, Libertarian, wherever you are on the spectrum, this can be beneficial. If you got a minor, if you know somebody that is in this sort of situation, they're going to be able to, grow their retirement assets very efficiently. It's something that you should really consider. So
great, thank you. That's a good way to close it out there. And so, just with all that, we appreciate you listening and getting to the fun part of the segment here. My fun part. John's pick of the week. This week, actually, I'll have a lot of help here from Matt, but it is talking about the keto diet, and more specifically, and what I've used it for, is ketosis. And so just to get a little bit into what that means is a keto diet's low carb, next to no carb, give or take, and you just fill in the blanks here, but essentially what keto, your body going into ketosis does is instead of burning glycogen, which is what you get from eating carbs, your body starts producing ketone bodies and it starts burning fat in place of the glycogen just because it does not have that. And so that's something when I'm doing my triathlon training, I'm having to eat a bunch of carbs, so I don't really do this. But when I'm wanting to cut for the summer, to look good, get some abs for the beach, I'll do this lower carb sense just because if I'm not doing as much cardiovascular activities and everything, is about the best thing to do. And even if I am still doing cardio, if I'm not doing, 50 miles on running or biking a week, then I'll do it. But anyways, I know you have some things to say on it.
Yeah, so for me, this was something I took up personally after playing college football. I got very accustomed to eating a certain diet, and once your priorities change and how much availability you have to exercise and stuff, the normal, the standard American diet does not fare well for folks long term. And I got into a point. This was actually after I went through trust school when I was working at State Employees Credit Union. I went through trust school. I had ate some really great food while I was at trust school. I came home. I was like, it's time to make a change, and it was something. My mom had actually tried it for a while, and one of my great buddies from the credit union taught me a lot. Named Jeff. And he was able to tell me a lot about keto, some of the benefits. Long story short, I got back from trust school, and within the first week of doing keto, I lost 20 pounds. In 6 months, I lost 80 pounds. And this was diet. This was me still eating foods I wanted to eat and just changing some things up. 6 months, 80 pounds. I still didn't have a ton of time, but I was really working out.
Yeah.
It was diet, small things. So,
that's unreal.
Once I was ready to make a change, it was very beneficial for me. So, there are lots of periods right now with kids and family and everything, vacations. It's not super practical to be able to do it all the time, but when people actually go through that process, if they're not cheating,
it works. It works.
It works.
Wow,
it works.
That's something. That's a story right there.
Yeah.
That's wonderful, and that's something. Just anyone can do it. And like you said, exercise is a lot, but what I notice is throughout any diet that I've done, if you stick to it and everything, the diet's where you really see the changes. It was when I was, if I was training, lifting, everything. I see results, but it's once you start focusing on the protein, or if you're trying to cut down the fat, cutting out the carbs or just cutting down the calories, that's where you really saw the changes in the scale and the composition and everything. So that's great. That's impressive. Is there anything else that I was missing there about what keto is?
Keto is low carb. Happy to talk to folks about it. We love our investments and everything, but the keto can be really beneficial for you long term. To be able to get some weight off if you've been struggling with that. So it can be very beneficial. I'd encourage you to look into it if you hadn't before. But yeah, I love lifting weights, and prior to doing keto, that would be something that I would kind of go back to. I want to get in shape, so I'd get into running, I'd get into lifting weights. But when I'd be lifting weights, I feel like I need to eat more. Right? You need to pack things on so your body can repair, and it's not always as easy to do that. You can feel the drain a lot more, I think, on keto than on a normal diet. So it doesn't work for every lifestyle, but it is a way to lose weight effectively if it's been an issue. So.
Great. Well, thank you. And with all that said, we thank you all for listening this week. Again, go check out the new website if you haven't yet, wcamg.com. And we thank you all for listening. And as per usual, our motto, always buy quality and diversify. The information provided in this podcast is for educational and informational purposes only and does not constitute investment advice, a recommendation to buy or sell securities, or an offer or solicitation of advisory services. It does not take into account your individual financial situation, objectives, or needs. Investments involve risk, including the potential loss of principal, and past performance is no guarantee of future results. Woodard & Company Asset Management Group is a registered investment advisor with the SEC. Please consult your financial advisor or tax professional before making any investment decisions.